Sarah, I know this process is difficult for you. And that's why I wanted to meet with you privately so that you can know who I am and why I've been asked to act during your parents' divorce.
One moment.
And you know that your parents love you and they want to live with you and they want to be good parents. And while they can't live with each other, they can and have told me that they want and will, as much as possible and even more, try to have you a part of their life now, as much now and forever.
One moment.
And my job is to represent your best interests, both your best interests now and in the long run. Now, I will tell the court what you want, but my job is to do more than that. I will be talking with some of the most important people in your life, and I'll be talking to you and getting to know you so that I can analyze what's best for you.
One moment.
I then have to write a report with recommendations for which parent should have custody of you. Now, the court has appointed me not to just fight for you, but to make recommendations and argue for what's best for you. Do you understand this?
I think I understand.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit. What do you think about your mother and father? How do you feel about your mother and father?
I love both my mom and dad, and I wish they would stay together. I really don't want them to be divorced.
Have they talked to you about the divorce?
They did, but some things I don't understand, like why I can't have time with them, like alternating days.
Well, first, do you understand that you can't live with both of them? And that only one of them will have custody of you, and that both of them want custody of you, even though this can't happen? Let's start by talking about some of the positive things about your parents. Let's start with your mom first.
Well, my mom does a lot for me. For example, she cleans, she cooks, she does things with me. She's good with me. Sometimes she gets frustrated and she gets mad at my dad because of the divorce.
And what about your dad?
Things are good. He does a lot of things with me. He takes me out to community events in the deaf community, in our community.
Is your dad
And
around
we
every
have
day?
friends.
Sorry. Is your dad around every day?
The interpreter is asking for clarification. What timeline are you referring to?
Just a consistency of when Sarah is home. Does she perceive her father as being home every day in that respect?
And the interpreter is asking for clarification. Prior to the divorce or during the divorce proceedings? Is there a specific timeline you're looking at?
I'm looking at, present, now.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Interpreter is going to ask for clarification. One moment. Well, Dad travels a lot, but when he is here, then we go out to different events, like sporting events, so we spend time together.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. Let's say you were stranded on a desert island, and you can only have one person with you. What person would you choose?
The interpreter is asking for clarification. The person meaning anyone or specifically mom and dad?
Person meaning anyone closest to her.
That's a hard one. Interpreter is asking for clarification. Wow, that is a hard one to answer. Because I would be on an island, just trying to think of who would be the best person to handle that situation. My dad would handle it better than my mom would, just because of what's there. My mom would probably freak out. But the person I would pick would be my friend Elizabeth.
Okay. What if you had to move away from your friends and school, depending on where you'd have to live?
The interpreter is asking for clarification. Moving away, could you repeat the question?
What if you had to move from your school and friends, and that depending on who you had to live with?
You mean one of them they're going to be moving away? I didn't know that.
Well, I'm not saying that I don't know, but what if your mom and dad had to move to a different part of the city?
Well, I really don't want to move because things are really good with my school and my friends. I have a lot of good friends, and I'm working on a big project right now, so this would not be a good time to move.
Well, Sarah, let's not worry about that right now. I don't think your mom or dad wants you to move. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me? Anything on your mind?
I do have a question. My mom has been really upset about the divorce, and she's been saying really negative things about my dad. And so I don't know what I'm supposed to do when she does that. So should I tell her to stop saying those things, or should I tell my dad and get him to talk to her? What should I do?
Sarah, that's a tough situation. I think your mom and dad are going to be going through some pretty tough times, and I don't think they would want you to pick sides. So I don't think you should really do anything, and I think you should just listen to your mom and dad.
Okay. And another thing, I've been given different kinds of tests. I had to go through different kinds of tests. I went to see a doctor. Does somebody think there's something wrong with me? Why did they do that?
Sarah, these tests were for the psychiatrist to tell what your personality and character is like. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay.
One moment. Oh,
I'll make sure that the doctor explains these tests to you soon. Is there anything else you wanted to ask or tell me?
so you're going to be making recommendations to court about who I should live with. What do you plan to say?
Well, I can't answer that right now, Sarah. I need to talk to your mom, your dad, teachers, babysitters, your grandparents and other relatives. And then I also want to look at the doctor's test. And then after that, what I want to do is put the whole picture together.
Oh, oh. So, interpreter, I need to ask clarification. So, what about what I want? Are you going to include what I want in your report?
What would you like?
Interpreter's asking for clarification. Well, I know it's not natural for me just to live with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there are conversations about dad coming twice a week, or me living with my dad during the summer and my mom the rest of the year, or them alternating between my parents each week. But I have an idea. What about if I stay where I am and they come live with me? So my dad comes to live with me, and then my mom comes to live with me.
You know, those are really interesting, very interesting ideas. What I hear you telling me, though, is that you want to have equal time between your mother and your father, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'll certainly take that into account. Is there anything else you want to ask?
Yeah. Do I have to go to court and testify at trial?
Well, Sarah, we don't like to have the children have to testify in court. That's why I'm here to represent your best interests. And maybe the judge can talk to you in his chambers alone, but I'll try not to have you go in and testify in court. Is there anything else you need from me?
Yeah, so you're my lawyer, so I need your phone number in case I need to call you if I have other questions or something.
Oh yes, absolutely. Here's my card with my name and my address and my number. You just need to call me, and I'll schedule an appointment so that we can meet, or we can talk through VRS.
Okay, thank you.